SMPEarth, a place where war never changes. The Battle of the Bridges is without a doubt the biggest war to take place on SMPEarth yet, with several factions from across the globe taking part in the fight. The Battle of the Bridges could be our first taste of what an all-out world war could look like. Like most wars, it began on an ordinary day. Tommy had just started his stream and he was peacefully tending to his farm when suddenly, boom, 2,000 bits were donated to Tommy's stream. The donator requested that Tommy should carry out a murder on hardcore survival legend Philza. It was gonna be tough. Philza is quite literally known because of his immaculate skills to stay alive. He managed to last an entire 4 years in a hardcore world. This was gonna be tough. Even tougher when you factor in Phil's allies. But Tommy was up to the challenge. He rounded up the necessary gear, paid Technoblade $20,000 to turn a blind eye, and he took off from Business Bay in a plane, heading directly to Boomer Bridge. The trio of Technoblade, Philza, and VoiceOver Pete were alerted to Tommy's presence and prepared for the initiation of battle. Tommy stood his ground while Techno attempted to hit him with a full-speed minecart attack. Fortunately for Tommy, it missed, but Techno was coming back and managed to hit him for 2.5 hearts of damage on the second minecart attack. Tommy created a large gap on the bridge so that anyone driving by on a minecart would fall directly into the ocean, a solid defense against Techno's minecart attacks. The Antarctic trio began pushing towards Tommy while the latter did the same thing. Tommy put up a barrier of dirt to protect himself, but his efforts would be deemed futile when Phil would snipe him for almost half of his health. This burst of damage gave Pete and Techno a window to rush Tommy, which they took full advantage of. Tommy returned to Boomer Bridge as fast as possible after respawning. Once there, he was given only a portion of his items back, with his best gear being taken by the Antarctic. He was fucking pissed and wanted all of his items back, including the 20k that he gave to Technoblade. Pete and Techno were not going to oblige, especially after noticing the giant hole that Tommy left in their bridge. Tommy did a bad job of fixing Boomer Bridge and then made an escape in his plane. Techno and Pete were not happy with Tommy's job at repairing the bridge and decided to chase him. The three ended up in New Hawaii airspace where the fierce battle raged on in the sky. A member of the New Hawaii faction, Jameski, was worried about the battle but quickly realized not to get involved. Techno and Pete eventually deemed the fight not worth their time and let Tommy escape back to Business Bay, something that Tommy took great pride in. Later the same day, it was brought to Tommy's attention that his supposed ally Wilbur Soot, leader of the Newfoundland, was out to betray him. Techno and Wilbur were conversing over Discord about their plan of attack, which Tommy was briefly present for until he was kicked from the voice chat. Knowing that the newly formed alliance was on their way to Business Bay, Tommy hid his villagers and prepared for a fight. Wilbur pulled in his close ally, Charlie Soot, who is the leader of the K-pop faction, bumping it up to a three-way alliance. Their plan of attack was to dismantle Business Bridge as revenge for Tommy destroying a portion of Boomer Bridge. Tommy, despite being viciously outnumbered, was prepared to take on the three factions by using a minecart rush attack. He successfully hit Wilbur and weakened him enough for him to retreat. Tommy could have easily killed him, but he had his eyes on a bigger fish. He turned around and went straight after Technoblade, who couldn't hit Tommy due to the faction's plugin preventing damage from other players. Techno quickly made Tommy an enemy of his faction to bypass the protection, giving him a chance to fight back and gain the upper hand. Tommy frantically tried to place blocks between himself and Technoblade when Wilbur and Charlie attacked him from behind. Tommy was inevitably killed, and the group celebrated their victory by having Pete give a speech. Tommy felt betrayed by his former allies and challenged Wilbur to a duel. Wilbur retaliated by saying that Tommy betrayed Wilbur first by getting in trouble with the Antarctic Empire. Wilbur accepted the challenge, and the battle took place, ending once again in Tommy's defeat, partly due to the fact that Charlie intervened and secured Wilbur's victory. Tommy rushed back into battle once again with little to no gear. He was determined to defeat Wilbur on his own, yet once again, Wilbur and the boys defeated him with the help of a creeper and a baby zombie. Tommy had a stroke of genius, coming up with the idea to escape his enemies via the business bridge, the bridge that led directly to Wilbur's base. Techno and the rest quickly made haste in their much faster plane and brought Tommy to a halt by breaking the rails. This didn't stop Tommy from attempting to escape, in which his efforts still ended up being futile. Wilbur proposed that the parties make some kind of peace treaty, which resulted in the group heading back to Business Bay. Once the group had arrived, Tommy wrote the first draft of the treaty, which included many terms of peace, those of which you should be seeing on screen right now. Technoblade downright refused to agree to these conditions and replaced them with a second draft, before passing them back to Tommy. A lot of discussion took place, and eventually Tommy added the term, "must like me," and acknowledged that I am a part of the group. A heated debate started, with many of the parties adding their own terms, eventually resulting in Wilbur destroying the treaty. Peace was not achieved. And thus, the Battle of the Bridges came to a close. In the span of just a few hours, an entire global-scale faction war had started, and it was not going to slow down. Business Bay and the Antarctic Empire had a long fight ahead of them. All they could do now was round up their allies and prepare for the next encounter. Thank you all for watching this video. I couldn't help but notice that a lot of you aren't subscribed. I know it's a lot to ask, but if you want to help me get Hypixel YouTuber rank, then it would mean a lot if we could hit that subscribe button and get me to 30k subscribers. It would be incredible if we could reach that goal, and if we do, then maybe I'll start working on the next Octangular video. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.